Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Front Nine coverage of Round 3 of the 2021 Music City Open, presented by Dynamic Discs. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here by Nathan Queen. Nathan, we moved to Mill Ridge Park, completely different property than Cedar Hill. Talk to us about the golf here.
Yeah, like you said, absolute opposite. We've got open fields with a bit of tight fairways right off of the tee just to get you to hit a specific line. And if you thought the rough at Cedar was thick, then the rough here is
nasty.
At
here.
least doubled. You can't really even get out of it if you're inside.
A lot of weird tight gaps that seem to be like bottlenecks on this course. Players are going to have to definitely maneuver some tight gaps, but there is a lot of open space after that. The wind is also a new factor here. Hole number 1, Flight Factory drone fly through here. Shortest hole we've pretty much ever seen at an Elite Series event. Nathan, I don't have much to say. It's 215 feet. There's a tight gap. OB left.
Yeah, OB on the right as well. If you drift just a little bit long, there is an OB line down to the water.
It's definitely a longer course than Cedar Hill, but hole 1 does not give you that impression.
You see Alden just catching that first tree. This is one of those small gaps I was talking about that they'll introduce right off of the tee. That kicks him over to the right. Looks like he did stay in bounds, though.
We have a fantastic card today. Alden Harris, Corey Ellis, Dustin Keegan, Garrett Gurthie. All players that can shred this type of course. Corey has had a fantastic season this year.
And he has gotten a little too much on that one. Pretty easy to do, only 215. You've got this small gap to hit. You can get a little juiced on it.
Yeah, this is a shot you almost want to throw like 190 and slide it up to the basket. It's a touch shot in every sense of the word. There is kind of a high spike hyzer. I don't think anyone's going to be going for it on this card.
And this is drifting down towards that OB on the
Oh my
right
goodness.
side. And just kind of slips out. And he was behind that Cedar as well, so he's going to have a tough putt for par possibly.
This first hole giving these players a real hassle.
And Garrett catching an early tree as well. Not moving forward off of the tee. Has to go to a knee. Still only about 200 feet away.
And you wonder if he should have just done that off the tee, honestly.
Yeah, and that's a good correction, though. He'll be able to get his par at least.
And Alden, the previous MCO champion from 2020, shoots very well at Cedar Hill. Let's see how he does out here. No way.
And has now gone OB a second time. Corey able to save his par, but the OB just on this first little short hole is already showing the difference between here and Cedar.
Yeah, you'd think this would play as one of the easier holes in the course. It's right in the middle. It's giving the best players in the world, weirdly, a tough time.
Yeah, it's probably just that tight gap to hit off of the tee pad. You're really focused on the gap. It's easy to drift left, right, or long. And that high shot, the wind
Exactly.
is kind of drifting right to left both of the times that I've been on the tee pad, which really keeps it from coming back. And moving into hole 2, the Flight Factory drone coverage here, 773 feet, par 4. You've got to throw over the first hedge that you see there and kind of get to the right, ideally, of that big tree that's maybe 400 feet off of the tee, and then you'll have a straight shot into the green from there, with another late row of trees before you get to the basket. And a pretty good spot from Alden. He's slightly on that uphill slope. Still within reach of the basket, but a little tougher to get there now.
And Corey has been just dropping bombs all season, but looked like he turned that one over as well. Mill Ridge already biting into some of these players.
Garrett looking to make a correction and go big. He's gotten it turned over a little bit as well. We'll see if he stayed outside of that tree or not.
And this looks a little bit better from Dustin as long as it stays in front of that tree. And that looks to be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, if he got far enough left, then he does have an open gap that Alden is going over.
Wow.
Yeah, here he's
Oh, no.
He's rolled past the basket now. That's a great shot. He was probably 440 feet away. Throwing uphill, he's rolled it through the tree and gone about 50 long.
Corey going flex sidearm here. Yep. And that looks good if it has enough height. It almost got back to flat to take a skip. And we see Garrett going just a bit too long. Big spiking hyzer.
And that would be 600 feet of spike hyzer to get there from there. So I imagine that was a play for par, but Garrett does have some pretty mean power. And Dustin was in a great spot. Gets up there in circle one.
Yeah, that's pretty much picture perfect off the tee. It's really hard to land on that flat spot right in front of that reference point tree. And yeah, like you said, Garrett still has a little work to do.
And that leaves some more work to do. He'll be in circle two there for his par look. And a good gap hit there. Those trees are pretty tight. After a second shot like that, that's really one you want to capitalize on.
Nice little stepper there from Garrett. Knocking in the par. Kind of an unorthodox par. We don't really see... with as much power as Garrett has, you don't see those types of completely vertical spike hyzers from almost anybody these days.
Yeah, not too often, and it's hard to push him far. I was talking to Garrett around Idlewild, and he's been working on that little step putt recently. It's cool to see him still working. I saw him drain quite a few that weekend.
And Dustin making up for a nasty hole one with a great birdie here.
Yeah, that's a good way to bounce back. This is a tough par four.
Yeah, we got Alden tapping in a par. We're going to move into number 3 after this commercial break. Hole number 3, 728 par 4. Decent gap to hit off the tee, shoots you out into an open field, and then you have a choice: either go over the top of that tree line to that protected basket or bend one around the corner.
The two choices that I saw while I was out today was go over top to the left or go over top to the right.
Exactly. Yeah, these trees out here are not that tall, so there's a lot of opportunity to kind of cut the corner if you want, but like you said, the rough out here is awful if you get a little too overzealous.
Yeah, and if you go down what would be the intended fairway, I'll say, which leads you towards the FPO basket, then it just makes it so much tougher to stay out of that thick rough than just throwing over top of it.
And Alden is just going to pound a hyzer out to the right side. Decent distance. It looks like he's more than likely going to go over the top on that.
Yeah, he'll probably be looking to throw a similar shot for his second shot now, just around the right side.
Corey is smoking the disc this
Corey's
season.
just trying to get to that gap that we're talking about off of the tee so he can throw another backhand through there. He's going to have, I think he made it far enough to have a little putter and hyzer.
Makes this hole a lot easier to play when you don't have to worry about depth perception, throwing to a blind basket.
And Garrett's going to have another one of those really steep hyzer throws from where he's at, I believe.
Okay, big stall hyzer from Dustin. Almost threw an anhyzer. And put it to a decent spot, circle 2.
Clean putt, stays out of the rough. Oh, Alden pushed a little too far right to have, or just a little too far and pinched himself off behind this tree where he can't throw another hyzer.
Oh, man.
Please work. Oh, my goodness.
What?
That is an incredible panning high. That is a roller angle panning and hyzer shot from Alden Harris. That's the favorite shot that I've seen so far this weekend.
He about threw that sideways.
That was fantastic. Dude.
Yeah, that was bold. And Garrett going huge spike hyzer yet again.
And he's spiked it inside the circle.
It's so interesting on a course like this. This is a brand new course. No one has really played a tournament here. Nice putt by Dustin. So people don't truly know.
Let's see that again. Dead center from circle 2.
Dustin's officially undone his double on hole number 1. He's back to even par. But yeah, it's interesting to see such bold play in a course that no one has played a tournament at yet.
And we missed Corey's upshot talking about Alden's incredible shot, but he gets it inside the circle and just not quite able to capitalize. Alden, though, what a birdie.
Yeah, that's an amazing birdie on this hole, and
That's two holes in a row. He's thrown an incredible second shot. Able to capitalize this time. So 2 birdies on hole 3. That takes us into hole 4. Another par 4, 753 feet. Pretty open off of the tee, but still a pretty specific landing zone. You want to push to maybe 15 to 20 feet off of the wood line on the right. The further you get, the better if you're in that distance off of the tree line. Otherwise, the further back, the better angle you're going to have. You just got to throw a little further. And there's OB right and left and long once you get inside of this gap as well.
on that left side, You have a look at the basket. It's just there's very specific lanes you want to be in this fairway.
Yeah, all the way on that left side where he's at, as far down as he is, he's going to be pretty pinched off and not have much of a chance to really attack unless he tries something over top, which I haven't looked at too much. Pretty new course.
Exactly. I was practicing with Ben Calloway this week, and he was actually throwing a turnover, trying to get towards that right side of the gap.
And this is trying to drift to that left side as well. And it's skipped OB. That's not the side you want to be on. You really want to push this tree line, and especially stay away from the OB.
See if Garrett can make a correction here. And he puts a little turn on it, and it just has a bit too much height. Oh my.
Wow.
Never mind. I thought that was fading out way earlier than that.
Wow, I haven't seen anybody even try to go into the mouth.
That is well over 500 feet.
That's
Of
incredible.
controlled distance.
And like you see, Alden just kind of throwing into the gap there, doesn't have the right angle to have enough distance to reach the basket. Kind of same with Dustin there, pitching around the corner, but gonna have some easy pars. And if he went into the right side at all, he could be getting a. He's okay. There he is. He's not too far off. I want to see. Wow.
That is
Just an incredible drive. That's 480 feet.
of, yeah, pure controlled distance. I was not expecting him to get that far that fast.
I think that's further than that. That's 500 plus.
Oh, yeah. 753, and he had a little standstill putter at it.
Needs to sit down. Yeah. Wow. You see how close that is to that OB line back there.
Okay. That was kind of a coin toss, 50-50. Weak
That's
side.
a little insult to injury there on a hole that already hasn't been played that well. That seems to be when those 50-50, 60-40 things like to happen.
Tough hole. Dustin taps in a bogey. Yeah, I can't say that I saw anybody during practice rounds this week put their drive in the mouth at all.
A good par hit from Alden there, able to just take what he got after his drive, pitch around the corner, pitch up. Garrett definitely stealing the show for hole 4 though, with just an incredible drive.
Okay, hole number 5, 242. Very straightforward hole. Literally. Basket's looking right at you. There's a little gap.
Yeah, kind of one of the themes you'll notice on this course is the basket tucked inside of a lot of trees and rough.
Garrett really having to back off that disc. Look how slow he threw that.
Oh, and what a touch shot with his Color Glow Rock 3 there.
Let's jump back real quick. I love Garrett's touch shots. I love that he does, it's almost like a reverse weight shift at the end. He has such a good wrist that's thrown a disc so many thousands of times that he can just snap his wrist and then kind of fall backwards at the end. I love that. That's just pure intuition there.
And there's quite a different feel after you've had those 3 700-foot par fours. You come to this little 242. Got to get your touch on a little more.
Alden flips his a little bit too much. He's got a putt, but there might be some thorns to contend with back there. Dustin making a nice correction. And those trees are not too far from the basket. He should be inside circle one. This is another player that really has to back off on distances like this.
Yeah, kind of surprised that he doesn't throw standstill here.
Yeah, he'll do it on a 470-foot shot. Why not at 242?
He threw it a little high, but he was able to get inside. Not quite able to have a clean look, though. This is very guarded.
Great birdie for Dustin.
Dustin keeping the par-free round going. And tough putt from Alden, able to get a lot of power on it, just slightly high. Garrett for the birdie.
These little holes, they're posing in a kind of a strange challenge to these players. Cedar Hill did the same thing. It's kind of interesting to see how the players attack a course like this. Number 6, 289, another sub 300-foot hole. This is a tough little island to land on, especially when the wind is ripping.
Yeah, it's a bit small where the basket's at, so you've got choices of the left side or to go where the basket's at, and to get around these trees, you gotta.
I guess you got to do that.
That worked out well. It's hard to land short of that basket and still basket height.
Yeah, players are going to be trying to throw something that just crashes out of the flight and just falls sideways. Beautiful. Let's take a quick look at Dustin Keegan's form. Long time scratch player. Pretty sufficient backhand and forehand. Just a nice simple shot. Keeps the disc above the elbow. And just chops it with a little bit of nose up anhyzer. Ooh, Alden going turnover. Ooh, you see that get shoved down so quickly.
Oh, I think
But
he
he's
made
safe.
it.
Yeah. I thought that was going short.
Had just enough on it that you could definitely see the wind grab it and pull that nose down.
Okay, Corey going Raptor. And that is high. Let's see if he got the speed right.
And 24 feet long in OB.
He's calling a provisional. It's always nice
Yeah,
to
just
call
got-
a provisional just in case something weird happens.
Yeah, he hasn't walked over there and seated himself, so just a smart play. This is a tough drop zone to run the putt from, but Corey definitely gave that a run. But that OB is close behind it.
Yeah.
You really don't want to compound your mistakes on this
It's like a
one,
little
and-
peanut of an island.
Yeah. That's
I like-
such a relaxed.
I was just about to say that. It looks like he's just playing catch at a backyard picnic. I love that putt.
A great birdie using the backhand there. Alden, a player after my heart, not throwing many sidearms.
Mine too. Gotta love Woods players.
A turkey from Garrett there. Starting to heat up a little bit.
And Dustin continuing his streak. He's been on a bit of a roller coaster. He's on the fun downslope of the roller coaster, though.
And that brings us to hole 7, 548 feet. More placement golf here. You've got kind of 2 windows. Ideally, you want to go where the drone flew through. You could play off to the left side to give yourself a chance to throw over top if you don't really want to mess with those gaps. There's also, you see that Mando there. There's also kind of a over the top to get around this first hedge of bushes off of the tee as well.
This is a very unique shaped hole. Because, yeah, like you said, you can technically cheat this tree line and throw a steep Anheuser flex over the top, which I saw a lot of people trying in practice. Otherwise, it's just a straight up mid-range to an elbow and then hit a gap around the corner.
Yeah, but the gap, like the elbow is so small
Exactly.
that you just kind of feel pretty silly if you don't get it right, and you're sitting there like, man, I need 2 feet this way, and I'd be able to throw the shot that I want to.
Corey,
I like Corey's play there.
Yeah.
Just throwing it a little harder. The tree line that you see just to the left of him after he throws here is kind of what your eye is on. And if you can push that, that's the ideal spot to be in. But he has left his upshot short, and it's thick in there.
Yeah, we'll see how far he got through. Alden's going to have to go with something real flippy. Look at this thing drift over to the right. That's a great shot.
Yeah, you see Alden was in that shorter gap. He didn't go to the same one that Corey was at and had a tough time getting it over to the right. Great shot, though. It looks like he's a little circle too long. Dustin in one of those positions I was talking about where you don't quite get to one of the gaps. Kind of have to go over top a bit. And maybe he did that on purpose because that was a fantastic second shot.
We've seen a couple of Sky Anheisers end up in fantastic spots. Let's see if Garrett can throw an even bigger one. Okay.
He didn't quite get enough turn on it, or just too much power.
Okay, Corey with the gap here. Circle 2. The man is 43% from Circle 2 during the regular season. Leading the field. Oh, man.
He's been all over the basket so far. We've seen a couple band hits. Pointing at it, telling it to sit down.
That's just pure wizardry at that point. Oh, no.
And that was about 38 for Alden. He is Probably about a similar distance again now, maybe not quite as far.
That stings.
Yeah, had the good old birdogey.
I mean, fantastic second shot, but it happens.
Dustin keeping it going. He's got the turkey this time. Keeping the red out of there, but still no pars so far for him on this front nine.
Yeah, he's fighting back. He's like one stroke behind Alden and Garrett for winning his card.
Since it was released, the Halo Wraith has been my primary driver. These discs are so juicy. It's firm, it's got a nice flight plate. I really love the plastic. The Wraith's just like a disc that everyone needs. It's the perfect combination of distance and control. Looks great, flies even better.
Me and my brother and my dad were out there for hours just playing disc golf, having fun.
That's like one of the first things we usually say. It's a great family sport.
We got to do it as a family.
It builds relationship. Like, I know my dad so much better because of disc golf.
It's nice that that's something that we can connect and go do together.
My parents are 100% behind it. Bad rounds, good rounds, doesn't matter. They always have a smile on their face.
We don't call it sacrifice, we call it fun.
Get out there and have fun. At the end of the day, most important is have fun.
Hole number 8, long, winding par 5. We're flying over a long sliver of OB. The players have an option to play down the fairway or across to a decent landing zone. There's all these bunkers of trees the players have to throw around. This is an interesting hole. I will definitely say that.
Yeah, our first par 5 of the weekend here. 1,000 feet. That OB on the left side, I think to clear it, you probably have to throw about 430. It's maybe only 410 or so to clear the OB, but it's slightly uphill. Yeah. And Dustin has not quite cleared it. He'll get to move up a decent amount off of the tee, but gonna be par at best,
yeah.
And that's gonna be a good par if he can get it.
Does Garrett have enough on this one?
I think he's got enough. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great spot. There is a direction you have to choose on your second shot, though. Do you go left of the bunker of trees, or do you go more direct on the right side after you get to the landing zone? And Corey,
and this is way too low.
Just been having a tough time getting it going today. Okay, puts a little turn on it.
Yeah, Alden with a nice hyzer flip there. He stays over to the right side. He might have pushed too far to really have a good over-the-top shot, but we've seen a pretty good anhyzer out of him already.
Oh, boy. Corey tried going aggressive there, and he has gone out of bounds again.
Oh, man. I wonder if he'll advance to the other side or not. It looked like he may have cleared that OB line and
I think
fell
he
back
crossed.
in.
Okay, not too bad.
Yeah, that's a great recovery shot from Dustin. He'll be able to most likely take that left side.
Yeah, left side, a little bit longer route to the basket, but
Yeah, and that's the way Garrett's going. He got far enough off the tee that he may be able to get a straight look at the basket after this shot.
definitely.
He's kind of off there in no man's land, but
Yeah, this is probably for the... What just happened?
and Alden he's playing for that left side as well, it looks like. He just went big flex shot to get over to that left side and I haven't been over there, so I'm not sure how wide open it is, but it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of stuff.
And Corey throwing a massive flipping hyzer.
And yeah, we've seen, so he went to the right side of the fairway, which is the way that leads to the basket. The first two shots got our cameraman way over there on the left side.
Yeah, you got to feel for the camera crew on this one. This is a sprawling par 5 with so much airspace, so many routes you can take.
Yeah, 3 of the 4 players ended up going around this second set of bushes to the left side. And Dustin got pretty far up there. He's over there by 11's tee. I have another upshot from there.
Yeah, once you get out here, it's just wide open space. There's no OB out here. And Alden has not put himself in a good spot either. Garrett, this is just his 3rd shot. He's looking at the basket, throwing a hyzer, and puts himself to a long look for birdie.
And Dustin here having to deal with a 10 a little bit from one of the tee pads. Able to pitch up though. Believe that will be for his bogey now. Alden gonna tap in a par.
This hole was one of the harder holes in the course. It was a 5.3 average. Corey just missing on the left side. And this is for the birdie. So close.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that band so far this round. Those discs are liking that red color.
That's going to be a nasty double bogey 7 for Corey.
It looks like he's taking the 8 snowman.
Oh, you're right.
He had 2 OBs there.
You got to feel for him at this point. You can tell he's just struggling.
Yeah,
Putt's not coming out right. Drive's not coming out right.
Hopefully we'll be able to see him turn this back around a little bit, at least get some green on the card. And here's a chance for him to do it. 355-foot par 3. Another blind shot. Pretty common theme on this course as well. A basket that you can't quite see. But kind of a flat to slight left finish.
Yeah, this is a tough shape.
Unless you're Garrett. You're just going to have a one angle hyzer at it.
Wow.
Into the shadow. It was good.
I threw so many drives on this hole. Given I'm a lefty, it's a tough shape. Even for the righty hyzer, that was a really good shot from Garrett. Okay. Decent shot. Puts him to about 30, 35 feet.
And it looks like Dustin's made a little correction on Alden's shot as far as the left, but he got that too low and it just didn't have the glide on it that he needed.
That's what's tough about this shot. There's this low ceiling right off the tee. I guess if you're throwing that high that Garrett did, it's one thing. But yeah, throwing this lower gap is really tough.
Yeah, and you can see Corey pulled that out wide as well. He'll be probably outside of circle 2 there, just on the edge of it. This basket feels a little weird once you get here. Most of the other baskets have been pretty close to something, so you're just kind of out here in the open.
It's weird how that kind of affects the way you address the putt. No reference points. Nice putt from Alden.
Another casual little 35-footer. Nice birdie to get him back on track. Corey connects for the par putt. Not the front 9 that he has wanted.
Especially with the season he's been having. You know he's going to bounce back. Dustin finally getting a par on number 9.
Getting us a little bit of gray before the front 9's done. Garrett, with spiking it in the shadow, is going to take one more birdie before we go as well.
There you have it.
Yeah, Garrett with the -4 leading the card, Alden 2 down, and then you see a lot of red on the other 2 cards there.
And Mason Ford is still holding strong against Ricky Wysocki, who is charging 7 under at this point, 19 under par, 2 behind Ford. Will we see any of our chase card players jump up to lead in the final round? Find out in the back 9 coverage. Make sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper Media. I'm Brian Earhart, he's Nathan Queen, and we are signing off.
We'll see you guys out there.